All right, here's Salvo Pancakes. What's up, man?
Hey, Mr. Ralph, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
It's a somber day. Always a somber day when I lose my main Twitter account. But we're hanging in there. We're getting through it, dude.
Yeah, so I noticed you lost it after you started talking about the Turkey Tom getting cucked narrative there. Of course, you've been
Yeah, do you
banned
think that's a
before.
coincidence?
No.
Do you think that's a coincidence?
No, I don't
No
think that's a
way.
coincidence. No.
Not a fucking chance. No. I mean, he's got a lot of pull there, right? So yeah, I started talking about that story, which a lot of people knew last year, but because it's Turkey Tom and he gets a lot of views, nobody really wants to talk about it.
Well, you know what? I want to talk about it. So, what happened there with Turkey Tom?
Yeah. Okay. So, some backstory. Late 2021, early 2022, Turkey Tom started to date this e-girl named Kai. Now, this e-girl is like a typical soft looking, right? Like real soft, white, pale, freckles. Um, they start to date late 2021. Another YouTuber named Lolicon Lyrics, he got caught looking up Lolicon last year. I busted him. Um, Fucked her. So basically, she cheated on Turkey Tom at the end of 2021. Lyrics, another YouTuber, fucked her. Lyrics kind of blew up because he was working with Keemstar early 2022. So when Turkey Tom found out that Lyrics fucked his girlfriend, Turkey Tom completely lost his mind. Apparently, according to a source who knows the situation very well, Turkey Tom was carved Kai's name into his chest. Like he was going full blown fucking suicidal schizomaniac, right? Okay. Fast forward to early 2022. Turkey Tom basically gets the whole fucking your boys, right? Diorio, Augustus, all those fags to essentially kick this is so gay, kick Lyrics out of the commentary community, right? And then Lyrics disappears. He comes back midway through 2022, trying to start like trouble. He cucks out and basically just wants to stop talking about it. But he already started to like run his mouth, right? And he told me mid 2022 that he fucked Turkey Tom's girlfriend, right? And this was before I even heard about it, but way after he told fucking Diorio, right? So I completely forgot about it. Like completely went out of my mind. And then at the beginning of this year, someone sends me a DM with proof that Lyrics kind of confirmed that he fucked Turkey Tom's girlfriend. And listen, Turkey Tom followed me on Twitter, and all of a sudden he randomly blocks me. So I go, fuck it, I'm gonna start talking about this because I take it personally when you block me on Twitter. It's like, okay, he blocked me. Now I'm gonna start talking about this. And I've been talking about it for a fucking month. But now that your friend, Zanny Berries and Kino Shea, and the whole sector A logs are starting to now talk about it, he's now going pretty defensive. So that's kind of the short story with that. Essentially, Turkey Tom had a girlfriend. She cheated on him, fucked with another YouTuber, and they ended up getting back together. And they're still together. And now they live. She moved in with him. So
So, first off, I don't like Turkey Tom. And so I'll just let that be known because he's kind of a faggot and he's, you know, thinks he's better than people for some reason, which I don't really understand. And then he has like this faux edge, and and then he's all about don't call a tranny a dude, and it's just kind of discordant in that way. But how did he manage to keep this under the rug so well until now, at least?
well, here's the thing, Ethan. When you have numbers and subscribers on YouTube and everyone else in your sphere is also playing the game, right? Playing the game of well, how can I get more subscribers? How can I get more views, right? Oh, well, Turkey Tom's this big YouTuber. I don't want to piss him off, right? It's more advantageous to have Turkey Tom on my side. So they all just like don't talk about it, which is like a very common theme for the commentary community to always do, is to not talk about fucking drama and stories if it's more advantageous for their quote unquote careers not to do it. So essentially, he was able to kind of sweep it up because he has Jannies and like other smaller YouTubers kind of doing his dirty work for him. But it's 100% true, 1000% true. And if you talked about it back then, all those fags like Diorio and all of them would completely kind of cut you out because they were friends with Tom. So
Yeah, and you know, the whole commentary community is, and of course I like a couple of those guys, but um
who do you like?
well, I
Who do you
don't
like
won't
a
say
lot?
any names. I just say I like. I get along with a couple of those guys, and but I'll
Ethan.
just.
Ethan. That's unlike you not to say any names. What's going on?
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but the whole commentary
You like
community.
Augie. You
Well, I
like
get
Augie.
along with Augie. Yeah, we've had a falling out, but you know, I don't have any problems with him these days. What do you think about Augie? How about that?
Good question. So I think Augie is probably the best one out of that entire group. He seems to be the one to kind of not give a fuck as much as like all the rest of them. I don't even think he's like a bad streamer. I kind of just naturally hate him because he's friendly with all the other people that I don't like, right? So that's kind of it. But I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's that bad. I think in a different world, if I didn't make fun of his mom and threaten to assault his
I
mom,
remember that.
I think that he would like me. But yeah,
By the way, we got a super chat that said TCD, which is Total Commentary Death, there from Cinemas. I just saw go by. Now, you mentioned Diorio, and I get along with him these days too, but I know he's kind of a controversial character, and a lot of people don't like him. And I've talked to Alberto, and he's got this thing going on with him. What do you think about Diorio?
I think Dorio's the worst one of them all. I think he's the absolute worst one of them all. Um, I think that he's a little weasel. He's a little liar. I think he sucks at like his content, right? So it's like I judge these losers off like a couple things, right? One, if they like me. Two, if they're good at streaming, and basically just like if I would kind of get along with them in real life. And Diorio doesn't check any of those boxes. I think that he's a snob. I think that for some reason he thinks that he can sit on his fucking high horse and kind of fucking act like he's someone that he's not. Um, and he plays the game. And I hate all these losers who play the game so much. I don't like that. I think he's the worst one of them all. I think he's the absolute worst one of them all. What do you like about him?
Well, I'm just not. I just have enough beefs as it is. So like, like I mean, you know, we put some of the stuff to bed, and it's like, well, you want me to kick it back up here right now? Like, I mean, I'll let you say whatever you want, but you know, I got enough. I got enough enemies as it is. So you know, I'm trying to be a little bit
Who are
diplomatic,
your
right?
enemies right now? Who are your enemies right now? Because it's so hard to keep up. Because two
Right.
weeks
It
ago you
is.
were on top of the world.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, like you're on top of the world, and
I
like now
know.
all of a sudden, like
Well.
what's you like right now?
Well,
Yeah.
I had a falling out with my wife, to be quite honest. She's not an enemy,
Okay.
but I had a big falling out there, and there was the tape was released and a bunch of stuff on that. And really, I did it to myself, Salvo. So if I would say who's my top enemy, it'd probably be myself. If I want to be,
Are you sober?
yes,
Are you sober right
I'm
now? Okay.
100% sober. And
Okay. Good.
that's been a key. And when you saw me on top of the world, I was 100% sober, but there was a drop off there, and so kind of made some mistakes as I've been known to do, and kind of fell off the wagon there, and now we're on the rebuild. Now we're on the rebuild,
Oh
and
shit! Did my laptop die?
no, you're still here.
Hold on.
Okay. Uh-oh. Did we lose Salvo? All right, we'll get him back in here if his laptop did die. Well, I was in the middle of my explainer there. But yeah, if I'm being honest, my top enemy would probably be myself. Never given that answer before, but I think it's pretty accurate. All right, now we'll see if we get Salvo has frozen in time. All right, we'll see. I'll refresh this. Hope we can get him back in here. He might have to plug in his laptop. Um, don't let up the heat on Tardsky. He's gonna lose it any day. Yeah, well, he's. Are you still? Uh-oh. All right, we'll get him back in here. Let me. Whoa. Okay. I'm not high, but that feels like I'm high when I see that. Okay. What's up, man?
I'm I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what the fuck happened.
No, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, probably my number one enemy would be myself. I guess some people in the chat mentioning Kino Casino, obviously, and you know, America First still and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, I have a pretty good rogues gallery, I guess, but I would probably be the head of that, my own demons, etc. But yes, Diorio and Augie, you know, I kind of put that stuff to bed. That's why I'm not really trying to get in on it myself. But I will say the commentary community in general has always been really gay to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. It's just like the edge is taken off. Like I don't know, it's just kind of corny. And I'll see beefs, and they'll be like, "You called so and so a tranny, and you didn't police your chat, or you didn't do this." And I'm just like, "Okay, you know what? This is the gayest shit I've ever heard in my life." And you know, for Augie and Diorio and all these people, well, they used to come on the kill stream all the time, and would be a part of some of those wild kill streams, and you know, with all kinds of crazy guests, might be a nationalist or this or that. And so when I see them arguing about trannies or so and so wasn't respectful enough to train. I'm just like, these motherfuckers don't even believe that, right? And so it just kind of strikes me, at least I don't think they do at heart. And so it just strikes me as gay. And so,
So you don't like trannies?
well, I mean, I don't hate trannies, but I've been known to call out trannies, dead name, etc. That's kind of how I made my bones back in the day. In certain ways, was going at trannies and feminists and stuff like that. So I don't just seek them out to drop a missile on them, but yeah, I've been known to be pretty critical of trannies. Yeah, for sure.
Are you keeping up with flamenco at all?
I know he's went full, lolicon, hasn't he, or full Shotokan or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that he's basically finally like admitted to being like a pedophile.
Yeah,
Like
he's kind of
finally,
just leaning into
actually,
it now, isn't he? I mean, I guess that's his only option. It's pretty
to lean
sad.
into being a pedophile.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that
Like it's
crazy?
like, what else is he gonna do? That's kind of his base now, the pedophile base, and maybe that'll work for him. I don't know, but yeah, I have noticed that. And then somebody sent me a screenshot. I guess it was from August, but he was talking about how he wanted to stab me and watch me bleed out and all this stuff. And maybe he got me mixed up with Diorio. Now I've lost a bunch of weight, but I'm not sure if he transferred that over or whatever.
What are you
Um,
weighing in now?
I was 197.5 this morning, actually. So
That's a healthy weight. How tall are you?
5'8", 5'9". So still not. I'm still
That's a
overweight.
healthy weight. How
Yeah, I'm getting
how
there.
old are you?
I'll be 38 on Wednesday.
Got it. Okay.
So
Okay.
about the last chance to get that under control, or you just you don't see too many fat fucks living that long either. So I've been trying to draw. I was 277 last year, so I'm getting approaching
That's
the
big.
100 pounds draw. I want to get down to about 160, believe it or not. So
I mean,
we'll see if I make it.
right. Like if you like want to lose weight, cocaine.
Cocaine can work for that. Yeah, definitely. That's the Worski plan. Um, Cocaine, just not eating, will you'll lose some weight that way too. Caffeine. I mentioned cigarettes, so I picked back up smoking. And if you want to lose weight, cigarettes do help with that, and they kind of kill the hunger. So, what would you recommend for Diorio if he wanted to drop
Dude,
some?
he needs a lot of help. He needs a lot of help. He's a little bit like younger. I think the first step for Diorio to like lose weight is to move out of his fucking Italian mom's house, because like you already know what's happening
The
with
cooking's too
that.
good. Well, you know what? As much as I miss my wife and I hate the way things turned out, they did. She could cook and would cook really well and all the time. And so it was hard not to gain weight.
Yeah.
And so, when that cooking left, of course, I still get the torta every day or whatever, but that's pretty much all I eat. But, she bring me a big bowl of pasta and all this stuff, and it's like, it's so good. But it's not necessarily that conducive to weight loss. Although she would make some healthy stuff too, but it's not that conducive to
Is
weight
she
loss.
gonna take you back?
I don't know, Salvo. I couldn't say.
I'm not following any of that drama. Like too complicated to follow. So like if she doesn't like take you back, like are you gonna get back in the game?
First off, I wouldn't count on her taking me back, unfortunately. Although I would love that. But I mean, do you mean am I going to live like a monk the rest of my life, totally celibate? Probably not. I wouldn't expect that. Although, I'm not necessarily on the front burner here, and I
Yeah,
have my daughter and I have a son and all that
true,
stuff, and so I've already
true.
procreated. So that mission that's been checked off the box is for now. I wanted to have more kids, but I don't even know at this point.
You're gonna have more kids.
I don't know, honestly, if we don't get back together, which is a long shot. Um, I don't know. I was more confident in it before, but now I'm not sure about that, honestly, because I already have a couple, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like necessarily the best idea if it wasn't under that framework because I have some responsibilities already as far as going and creating another batch of children. But I wouldn't rule it out. I'm pretty virile and pretty potent for some reason. I don't know. But with all those drugs, you would think maybe there was a lower sperm count, but apparently not. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out, but it's not. If you'd asked me that earlier this year, we are still together, or last year, I would say definitely 100%. But now I'm not so sure, honestly. What about you?
Gotcha.
What about you?
Oh, oh, fuck, dude. I I would say eventually, I'll have kids. Probably. I mean, like you never know. I have a high sex drive, so I would say it might happen. It probably will happen. So yeah, I mean, probably,
Do you want
probably.
do you want kids?
Yeah. No, I love kids.
Not
Not the
like flamenco.
flamenco way.
I knew it.
No, no, not the flamenco way. I don't love kids. Not like no. I love babies. I love babies. I like to hold babies, kiss babies. I think they're very cute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But not in the flamenco way.
Yeah, and I miss my daughter especially. Of course, my son, I love him too. But I was there for her birth and her whole first year, and that has made me pretty sad. But you just kind of gotta pick yourself up and hope for the best, and we'll see what happens and all that. But let me ask you to steer it back a little bit to the commentary
Yeah,
community. Where do you think this does it all come from? Keemstar, the rot.
I don't think anymore. I don't think Keem really has like any pull, like
Yeah.
anymore. I mean, he basically just tweets. I mean, like he doesn't even like really make videos. He makes like Snapchat videos. I mean, like all the people underneath him, like my boys, right? They don't respect him, right? I think that he thinks that he has some sort of control, but I really think that he's completely fallen off to like irrelevancy completely. So no, no, no. I would say that Nicholas Diorio is kind of running ship right now.
He does seem to be, doesn't he?
And it's so gay. It's so gay that he is. And the thing with the commentary community, it's like you watch these like fucking streams, they really are like really shit. Are really shit. And they know that they're shit. And they don't go after the people that they like should be going after. Again, because like it all kind of
Wait,
falls
you
in
mean you
line
don't
with
care about EDP for the 300th time, or
isn't that crazy? And they all cover like the same sort of shit. And that's why like I'm trying to bring in motherfuckers from this like part of the fucking like internet because like I'm watching you guys and you guys are like all like infighting all the time and I'm like, guys, branch out, come on over here. There's crazy fucking really really retarded, really a lot of people that you can really trigger. I mean, for the entire year I was the only one kind of like a-logging these people. And like I'm thinking about holding on my next stream like a fucking like a classroom sort of like education thing where like I'm breaking down each sort of character in the commentary community to get all of these, A-logs and fucking sector fans over there because I really want to ruin their fucking lives. Like I really want to make their lives hell online. Hell online. That's my goal. I hate them.
it's like a wrestling invasion line. It's like, well, here's this other federation. They're crazy as fuck. Let's bring them over here and let them run wild. And I know there's a lot of appetite for that. I know a lot of people were excited to get you on here to talk about some of this stuff. Now, the Edwin stuff. what do you know? First off, some people in my audience don't even know who that is, and I know who it is, but I'm not that familiar with him. Um, what was he doing? I think he loves kids too, but not in the good way.
Okay. Okay. So let me break down some context of who Edwin is, what he did, and what he's kind of his defenses, right? I think that's kind of the a right route. So Edwin was someone that was in the Salvo camp at the end of last year. He completely joined the Salvo ship as
Yeah.
part of one of these like anti-commentary people, right? So that plays a huge part into it, right? Um, him and I got into a little bit of trouble towards the end of the year, right? Um, and he kind of lost like all of his allies in the commentary community space, right? It's like you know how this game fucking goes.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, he was accused of basically, and myself, of making this girl feel uncomfortable.
Oh no.
8 months later, it turns out that it was completely lies. She lied about the whole thing. Coincidentally, a week after kind of he's cleared of those accusations, finally, this new sort of shit comes out. Okay. So the shit that comes out is basically constructed by this basically just like a commentary community sort of chatter. His name's Colton, right? And Colton and like other people that like hate Edwin, and I'm hearing rumors that Keemstar was also involved in all of this. Okay, so that's like a little bit of the context. Now, Edwin is being accused of flirting and sexting with minors when he was in his mid-20s, about a decade ago, right? So about a decade ago, Colton and these other people are accusing him of sexting and being flirty with minors, right? Now, what came out was basically old text messages and screenshots of him talking to these people on Snapchat. There's no denying that he was talking to minors on Snapchat and like in the DMs. However, when he was talking to them and kind of being quote unquote flirty with them, it looks bad. Optically, it looks bad, and I'm not here to play the Edwin defense. And like you can pull up this thread of like the fucking text messages. Now, however, some more context. So back in the day, these YouTubers would use mass texting sort of apps and platforms to like connect with their fan base, right? So he would send out like a mass text to promote like a video, and like in that text kind of be like flirty. Now it wasn't like an individual text to
Right.
people. It was like a mass text or like a mass like Snapchat, right? To promote something. Now, if a girl responds, and according to these images, if a girl responds, it seems like he was responding back to them sometimes. And some of the messages were flirty, 100%, like good girl and like shit like that, but no sex. To my knowledge, there was no sex. There was no sort of direct sexual sort of conversation. And the one picture that they have is a Snapchat of him shirtless, naked, but his whole penis and groin area is blacked out. And initially, the way that was sort of given as evidence made it seem like he was sending that to minors, but to my knowledge, it turns out that he was that was one of his mass sort of snaps out there, right? So people can argue that, well, he should know that there's minors in his audience and he shouldn't be doing that. Fine, I mean that's correct too, but calling him a pedophile, in my opinion, is kind of stretching it, right? Because there's real pedophiles in this space. Like, that's proven. There's real pedophiles like in this space. I don't think he's a pedophile. I think optically it looks terrible. Optically, I understand why people are upset about it, but not for a second do I think that he was intentionally sexting or being flirty with minors. Yes, some of these girls looked young and he probably shouldn't have done it, but I don't really think that he was getting anything sexual out of it. It was more about okay, here's a video. How can I get these people to click on the video?
Well, that's not really how it's been portrayed on Twitter, at least. And hearing you talk about it a little bit, I do wonder if some of it. Again, I'm not taking either. I don't know all the details, but if some of it is, you think it is reprisal for kind of siding with you.
Well, I think 100%. I think that, he lost a lot of good grace and he made Keemstar look like a complete fool. And I don't think that there's really like any coincidence that like this came out like a week after he kind of cleared his name. Especially this guy named Colton is like a kind of freaky sort of person in and of itself. I mean, like he was caught jerking off and like shit, which I don't have no issue with consensual adults sexting or jerking off online, but it's like, okay, I don't know. And this Colton dude is like a little bit of a spurg, and he kind of teamed up with people that were anti-Edwin. So I definitely think that it stemmed off of kind of like all year with like Edwin's
So
drama, 100%.
you mentioned Keemstar, and we'll double back to that. First off, how did Edwin make him look like a fool? Second off, we've had you on since all that, but we didn't talk about it. What all happened with you and Keemstar?
Yeah, I mean, so we did the Keemstar show, wildly successful, huge show, one of the best shows out there. And then he has abandonment issues, like 100%. I'm not memeing here. This motherfucker has abandonment issues. He was adopted. His parents didn't want him. He was adopted, and a lot of it stems from that. So I quit the show because this motherfucker went bananas because like I didn't want to drive up to Buffalo in like a huge ass snowstorm. So so after like he went bananas, I'm like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna quit, right? And I quit, but we were still friendly. And then Edwin and I and others were gonna drive up to Buffalo for like one last like show, right? And like one last party. And Edwin brought some girl that he was talking to at the time, right? So we went up there, and I was fine with Keemstar. Everyone went along, lots of partying, right? Alcohol and like other things involved. And I ended up, some sexual shit happened with me and the girl that Edwin was talking to. It was 100% consensual. She never said like it wasn't consensual. And then I didn't even have like a falling out with Keemstar, right? But that same girl that I did something sexual with went on vacation with Keemstar and Brantley. And they had a threesome and they had sex and like all this stuff. And she ended up telling them what happened. And of course, because it's Keemstar and because I quit the fucking Keemstar show, he used that to fucking like bury me, right? So he used that story and he did multiple live streams on it. Basically, I'm twisting her story and leading her on to like make us look like we were sex pests or some perverts, right? So, and of course, the commentary community, because they're all fucking sheeps, they all ran with it for literally 9 months. Like they're still talking about all that shit literally since January, right? So 9 months, they just been talking about the same story and the same story. And that story has fucking branched off into like a million other storylines, right? So once Keemstar did that, I'm like, well, fuck you, Keemstar, right? So like I'm not cool with him at all. So it took Edwin, this motherfucker, 9 months to kind of set the record straight and kind of prove that Keemstar was lying about all this just to make Edwin and myself look bad after 9 months. And basically everyone was like, okay, Keemstar is like a liar, obviously. After this video came out. So that's kind of the fucking cliff notes on my falling outs with Keemstar. It's like I was cool with him like up until he did these like live streams, which were like very like weird and like out of left field. So that's the cliff notes there.
Well, there was really a concerted effort to bury you by Keem and these guys, and you could tell it was personal, and that they were trying. And I've been on the other end of it, right? Where somebody they're really trying to bury you.
They really tried to.
Yeah, they really tried to bury someone. Like if people were following it back then, now I wasn't following it every single second, but I saw what was going on, and of course I liked you already, and had good relations with you, and so I was miffed by this, but I could see what was taking place. And it was a real concerted effort led by Keem to
Oh, it was
just completely bury
100%
you.
led by stream, and I mean, they did everything they could to try to bury me. I mean, like, got my fucking YouTube banned, like, went all out to like really fucking do their best.
Yeah.
Because like I made their life hell for like a year, right? So like, oh, like here's our chance to fucking bury him. So
Yeah, I know how that goes. Here's this guy who's fucked with us and said this and that. Okay, now it's our time. And, I understand that, but you can tell when it's organic, and you can tell when it's people trying to settle scores and trying to take somebody out of the game. Now we talked a lot about the commentary community. Who is this Jalen tranny?
so Jalen is the so when people in the commentary community don't have any content, because remember, the people in the commentary community, they don't really make their content, right? It's like they don't do shows like you, they don't do shows like me. They wait until something happens to kind of just recap and talk about it, right? So when nothing's going on and they need to do a stream, Jalen's obviously a very easy target. And it's so funny because like what they go after Jalen for, basically just because like she's trans and legit crazy, but like what they go after her for, which I always like find funny, is like saying the N-word, right? So they like have her on because she said the N-word, which is like I think that's awesome that this big ass transgender person is like dropping hard R's and like all this shit. Like I just like find that funny. But they always like bring her on to like again defend her or like attack her and have her defend herself saying the N-word over and over again. And then the whole point of those streams is basically just to have her say it like again, right? I just like push her buttons and have her say it again. But I mean, she's crazy and she is full blown nuts. I mean, like she spends all days on Twitter. And yes, I'm sure your chat's being like he, right? Yeah. I get it. I will say this: I met Jalen a few times because she also lived in Buffalo, so it's like she would come up to the Keemstar show sometimes too to like be part of the show and like in the background. And I will say this because I'm always very honest. In real life, Jalen was the most normal one out of Keemstar, Brantley, and our producer Chris. Like she was legit the most normal one out of those bunch. But that's the story with her. It's like she's an easy punching bag, so they all go after her because everyone doesn't like her. I think it's hack. I think them always going after her is like hack. So
well, I never really knew any of the backstory. I just see them talking about this person all the time, and I never really investigated it. But I'm just like, oh, they're talking about them again. Like, what is?
I mean, that's what it is. They all talk about like the same like sort of thing because they're afraid to kind of talk about the shit that they need to talk about, right? So they wait like until they kind of see what everyone else is talking about to kind of like not ruffle any feathers. It's very gay behavior.
By the way, the chief of staff messaged me this. I wasn't even going to bring that up, but I don't know if that was Keem who kept me off Fireball or who that was who kept me off Fireball. I was on one of them, and it went really well. And Salvo was very complimentary, and I really enjoyed it. And then I was going to do the next one. I guess it was Fireball 3. I can't remember now because I wasn't on the first one. But I was on the second one, and it was all ready to go. And then there was like controversy about having me on the program, and I did get bumped. I didn't blame Salvo because I know how these things go. What did happen there exactly?
Yeah, so after Fireball 2, I was putting together Fireball 3, and like you mentioned, like you were scheduled to be on because like you were loved on Fireball 2 by fucking
even
everyone.
People who hated me enjoyed that appearance. Yeah,
even people who really hated you enjoyed that performance, and it's like you're the best person for that type of like fucking like show, right? So at that time, I just got hired by Keemstar to be the co-host of the Keemstar show, right? And he was very, very, very worried about my channel being banned from YouTube and therefore wouldn't allow me to do the podcast with him, right? So immediately when he saw the roster, he reached out and he said, you can't have Ethan Ralph on or Baked Alaska or like anybody from like this part of the internet. And basically my hands were tied. Yeah. So
yeah, I knew it wasn't your call, and we talked about it a little bit, but I never knew who exactly had kept me off. I didn't realize that was Keem, which is pathetic, honestly. like, because I'm not banned from YouTube, like, appearing. I'm just banned from
I
having a
know.
channel. And so it's always Keem, by the way, supposedly. You know, he himself is supposed to be banned from YouTube. Now, he sucked enough cock over the years where they
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to that anymore. But he was banned from YouTube himself. So it's kind of rich for this little rich fuck to be there trying to hold people down. And, you know, he's mad about some shit from years ago. He used to come on the Killstream himself. He doesn't give a fuck. You know, if something's popping off, he'll jump on. That's how he always is. So it
Yeah.
is kind of rich. And then they ended up getting your channel taken down anyway. So it's like, what the
Yeah, they
fuck?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's like, what the fuck. All right, so the commentary stuff, we've had you on for a bit. I don't want to keep you all day. You know, you can leave whenever you want, but what am I missing here? What have we not talked about in terms of the war on the commentary community and just, you know, how pathetic it is?
Yeah, I mean, like right now they're all doing like their gay shit, covering like EDP and like covering like FouseyTube and like all that boring ass like nonsense. I think the real story is that a huge YouTuber got cucked by another YouTuber and took her back. I mean, that is like a ginormous like fucking like thing on YouTube that like is right up their alley to like fucking talk about. So like I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna go live tomorrow and do my best to like blow this story up. You know, but that's basically like what's going on. And then the Edwin sexting, sort of talking to minors stuff, which is not being talked about by the commentary community really, because Nicholas Diorio gave him the fucking badge of honor of being back. So like you see how like these sort of things work. But I welcome everybody in from the Killstream and from the sector to come over and learn about all these fucking bad, evil people, because that's the real story. And I talk about the real story. I talk about what matters, because I don't have any allies in the commentary community. So like all my bridges are burned. So like I'm free to kind of talk about whatever.
It is freeing
But
in a lot of ways when the bridges are
it's
burned.
very freeing.
Yeah.
It's very freeing. I don't got to worry about like not talking about this because they like me. But you're the man, dude. Keep doing it. You rock.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Anytime you want me on. I would love to come on. You're a legend.
I appreciate that. It's very kind, and you said similar things to me in private, and I appreciate you saying it here on air. And I've always been very big on your talent as well, and I loved what you were doing with Fireball. And it's a shame that they subverted all that and tried to throw you on the ash heap there. So if I could help in any way, just let me know, and I would love to be a part of it. Oh, and there was something else I was going to ask you before you go. Has anybody from Turkey Tom's camp reached out to you at all?
No, but other YouTubers who know about the story have reached out in my DMs to basically give me like more juice and like more kind of backstory on it, and basically confirm it. But Turkey Tom, I mean, they're like, he's doing blocks and blocks and blocks. He's blocking everybody from talking about the story. He got my main Twitter banned too from talking about it as well. So no, I mean, they're doing like a big sweep up.
Salvo Pancakes here live on the Killstream. Tell them where to find you, sir.
Yeah, so my new Twitter is Twitter at Trended8, the number 8 in USA. That's my new Twitter, and my YouTube is youtube.com/@Trended8 in USA as well. So
very cool. And I retweeted you a little bit ago, so if they want to go and pick it up from there, and somebody in chat will post it too, or I will, one or the other. Salvo Pancakes, it was a pleasure having you here on the Killstream, sir.
Always, buddy. Take care.
All right, talk to you soon. Salvo Pancakes. I'll give a little round of applause for that.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is the CACA Loaf. Remember to like and subscribe.